Standing with Rubina Fitzpatrick at Tarneet, near Werribee, Victoria. The following tape shows the heats and final of the 1994 English Derby, in which Moral Standards went unbeaten throughout the event, a feat never achieved since the open entry system was introduced. You will see that, with his trackcraft and great determination, come to win his races from impossible positions.
I was left in no doubt who they were supporting. Very impressive. And after that I spoke to a few more people on the gate.
Moral Standards.
Yeah. All that way behind, he's going to win from there, is he?
He'll come from behind it, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Moral Standards.
Away we go then, no trap 3 in this race. Up towards the first bend of 1, Duffy's Legend up with the pace along with 4, Van de Queen. Then comes 5, Simply Free, 2 Moral Standards on the rails, and then comes 6, Carker Clippers. They head down the far side. Up goes 1, Duffy's Legend, but look at 2, Moral Standards, just showing good middle pace there to take up the lead, entering the third bend. So Moral Standards goes on, trouble behind there, trap 4, Van de Queen. Had a bit of argy-bargy, but as they come off the final bend, then it's going to be Moral Standards coming home very easily indeed. Running up to be second, Simply Free after a bit of bother there. 1, Duffy's Legend back in third.
From trap 2, started last, showed great trackcraft coming out of the second bend to lead at halfway, to win by almost 6 lengths and recording the fastest time of the first round.
Superb performance. Wouldn't expect to see him in front coming. Grenane Squire, last year's Derby favourite, 28.71 was a fast sectional, as indeed did Ringside Return, one of 2 Mervyn Osborne trained winners on the night. 28.81 Ringside Return on the only race that was returned normal. The others were 10 fast. The award for the fastest sectional of the night went to Ringside Return with a 5.07. Friday night at Wimbledon, and Moral Standards, the one the crowd definitely waited to see. He was in trap 1, 7-4 on favourite. Early pace in the race with Egmont Joan and Rabatino, so he should get a clear run.
And away they go, and racing up towards the first bend. Trap 2, Egmont Joan away quite well. Just ahead of trap 5, Rabatino. Trying to join it at the first bend, but Egmont Joan, having none of it, quickens up now from 6, Long Valley Manor. After these comes 5, Rabatino. Then comes 1, Moral Standards making a move as they come down towards the second last bend, and it's 6, Long Valley Manor just taking up the lead by about a neck or so from 2, Egmont Joan. Moral Standards going to find a gap. The gap comes though up towards the winning line. It's going to be Moral Standards powering his way home. Moral Standards wins it. Egmont Joan was second, and I believe Long Valley Manor was third.
It's a faultless performance there by Moral Standards. Track the early pacemakers, and look at him in splendid isolation on the way to the drop, and he wins it in 28.80 from the gallant Egmont Joan, and Long Valley Manor qualifies for John Coleman in third place.
And Moral Standards there was running from trap 1, took a bump at the first bend, but great pace along the back straight took him into a challenging position. Entering the home straight, Moral Standards powered between the leaders to win by 2 1/4 lengths and going away, clear by a good 15 lengths at the pick-up.
In trap 3 draw, tricky looking trap 3 draw. Pearl's Girl inside him 5-2, but 9-4 Flag the Fawn in 1. That one's hit a bit of form in the Derby and they fancied it.
Away we go, and racing up towards the first bend, 2, Pearl's Girl up with a pace from 5, Carrick Paws. They're going to go round the bend together. After this we've got 4 racing a bit wider, and that's Moral Director. They head down the far side then, and it's still Pearl's Girl leading from 5, Carrick Paws. Then comes 1, Flag the Fawn. After these trying to get in the race now, 3, Moral Standards beginning to pick up. They go round the second last bend, bit of bumping and trouble, but Moral Standards is looming large on the outside, and Moral Standards picks them up. Moral Standards goes on, the race on for the place is 1, Flag the Fawn is second, 4, Moral Director was third. Pearl's Girl is out of the competition.
Yes. In there from trap 3, it was crowded at the first bend, It must have been all of 7 lengths off the leaders coming out of the second bend. Again showed great track traps, seeing a wall of dogs on the rails at the third bend, switched to the outside and showed tremendous staying power to lead off the fourth bend and win by 3.5 lengths. And again, going away.
And enjoy a truly vintage performance here by the odds-on favourite in Trap 1, Moral Standards.
There we go, racing up towards the first bend, 2 flag the fawn away well, along with Trap 5, Ard Column Hilda, but 4 bursting through Doreen's Hope. Moral Standards not too happy at the bends there, towards the back as they head down the far sides, and it's 4 Doreen's Hope leading from 2. Flag the fawn, then comes 6, Always Good, and then comes 5, Ard Column Hilda. Moral Standards has got a job on here just to qualify as they come around the second last bend, and it's Doreen's Hope out in front with a 3-length advantage, and Moral Standards piling on the pressure on the inside. Moral Standards gets up to beat Doreen's Hope in second.
12 lengths off the pace down the back straight, and at one stage he was last in the race. Moral Standards, as Errol says, gets up to win by 3/4 of a length in 28.85 going away. So we know
Moral Standards there, running from Trap 1 in the 4th quarter-final, denied a clear run around the first bend. Must have been all of 10-12 lengths behind coming out of the second bend, and as the race commentator says, looked in difficulty of qualifying, lying last at halfway, but showing great determination, not only qualifying, but winning the quarter-final, and once again, going away.
To 1, 2, Doreen's Hope, a local hope at 33s. 3, Up the Junction, odds on for Ireland. In Trap 4, the strong finishing Moral Standards at 2s, and the 2 wide runners for Main Monarch in 5, and Magnetic Ocean in 6.
And away they go, and racing up towards the first bend, and Trap 3 Up the Junction breaks best of all, being chased by Trap 1, Flag the Fawn in second. They go around the first 2 bends, and it's 3 Up the Junction leading up the moment from 1, Flag the Fawn. Trying to move up on the outside is 5, Main Monarch, then comes 4, Moral Standards as they approach the second half bend. It's still Up the Junction. Trying to make every post a winning one here. Is still about 2 lengths clear from Flag the Fawn in second. After these, Moral Standards moves into third, but it's still Up the Junction. Moral Standards finishing best of all. Up the Junction's caught by Moral Standards. Moral Standards just gets up on the line to collar Up the Junction. Flag the Fawn was third.
So a remarkable result there, really. Moral Standards still unbeaten in the competition, winning again at 2-1. Second, Up the Junction, the 11-8 on favourite, and third, Flag the Fawn at 8-1.
In the semi-final, Moral Standards shows his versatility at the traps, this time running from Trap 4, having occupied Traps 1, 2 and 3 in previous rounds. Again crowded at the first turn. 6 lengths behind Up the Junction at the second turn, denied a clear run at the 4th turn, but still 4 lengths behind Up the Junction entering the home straight, but picked him up to win by 3/4 of a length, and again, going away.
He comes from positions no other dog could come from. Very pleased with him. Brilliant.
Behind?
I don't think we're going to see the day when they come from behind at Wimbledon, personally. It might happen, but I can't personally see it.
Oh, it's a double this year?
Hopefully so. We've got this far. I'm not going to go on without doing my best to do it again.
very different style of running to Ringer.
Oh yeah, I'll be watching a different race completely this year. He was away and gone, and we were looking back to see where the dangers were coming from. This time we'll be looking in front to see where the dangers have gone, to see if we can catch them.
So realistically saying, let's just paint a theoretical picture. Air Flyer and Up the Junction who have gone 4 clear down the back straight. You've had a clear run. Will you beat them?
They're only 4 in front. Yeah, I definitely think we'll beat them. I hope they're only 4 in front halfway down the back straight. We'll definitely come and catch them.
It's now time for the big one, 1994 Daily Mirror Sporting Life Greyhound Derby Final. Almost 10,000 people packed into the Plough Lane Stadium at Wimbledon to watch this memorable race, one of the most open finals in years. And the openness of a final means it was a good night for the bookmakers as well. Plenty of people down there in the ring having a punt. The dogs now on parade for the 1994 Greyhound Derby Final. In Trap 1, that's Up the Junction, looking quite sprightly. Trap 2, Moral Standards, having a good look around. He's got a lot of supporters near the starting traps. I'm sure his ears will go up there. In trap 3, that's Flag the Fawn, one of the outsiders, trained by Patsy Byrne, of course, won in 91 with Ballandry Ash. There's the other outsider, Callahoo Daly, but money on the night for him. In trap 5, that's Moaning Lad, looking slightly upset by the parading. And in trap 6, we've got Air Flyer, a winter anti-post favourite. I can't remember the last time a winter anti-post favourite actually went on to win the Derby. I'm sure you can, but I can't. So can Air Flyer break the long sequence of losers as far as that statistic is concerned anyway? So there they are, the 6 dogs contest the year's Greyhound Derby final. Let's just take one more visual check now on the lineup and the betting for the 1994 Derby final. In trap 1, we had Up the Junction at 3-1. Trap 2, Moral Standards, heavily supported on the night, a great popular following this dog, and their money was on him tonight. Moral Standards, 9-4 favourite. Flag the Fawn in trap 3, 16-1. Callahoo Daly was well supported for an outsider in trap 4 at 12-1. Moaning Lad, 7-2, and Air Flyer, solid at 3-1.
And they're all set then for the 1994 Daily Mirror Sporting Life Greyhound Derby final. £50,000 to the winner. We're expecting a fast start from Up the Junction in 1 and Air Flyer in 6. And they're off and running and racing up towards the bend, and Up the Junction gets that fast start. He's up front. Here comes Air Flyer trying to join in. Moral Standards already prominent in 3rd. They go around the first 2 bends, and it's Up the Junction with a half-length lead over 6 Air Flyer. After he's Moaning Lad moving up on the outside of Moral Standards. They come down towards the second last bend. It's Air Flyer just going on. Moral Standards slightly crowded. Up the Junction trying to renew an effort. It's Air Flyer from Up the Junction. Moral Standards and Moaning Lad. It's Moral Standards getting up in the closing stages. Moral Standards wins the Daily Mirror Sporting Life Greyhound Derby for 1994. What a wonderful performance from Moral Standards, trained by Tony Meek. He scoops the prize, £50,000.
Well, let's have a look at the race one more time from a slightly different angle, and we'll let it go with just crowd effects.
Final. And just listen to this roar. Now they're approaching the pickup. Now look at this dog go down for the dummy here. This is a dog of great determination. Watch him dive down for that bunny.
Sensational Derby final. No surprises.
Moral Standards running from trap 2 there showed he had the ideal temperament for the biggest occasion, when trapping better in the final than in any previous round. Showing great determination throughout the race, powered home to win the 1994 Derby final, which was said to be one of the best for years. Truly a great champion.
There, good to see him up and about. What about the dog? He's the one that's done most of the work. The owners there, of course, collect the £50,000 cheque, and a lovely trophy indeed. They're well deserved. They're great supporters of the game. And there's Robert Meek, brother of Tony, holding on to the dog that's done all the hard work. Declan Murphy there, good to see him up and about, is helping present the trophy. As usual, a massive great crowd surrounding the podium. Nobody in the stands can see what's happening there, but they all can. But to give a crowd a chance to see the dog, they go on the traditional lap of honour. And poor old Moral Standards probably wondering, where's his drink? So it only happens once in a lifetime, or maybe twice, Moral, who knows, next year. Very appreciative crowd at Wimbledon, and there's the man who steered Moral Standards to this Derby final and Derby victory, Tony Meek, second year in a row for Tony. Kisses all round for the dog. Oh, and for the trainer as well.
Tony, one word, really breathtaking.
Unbelievable. He broke better tonight than he ever has done, and he's gone round the bend very handy, and the only thing that could stop him then was trouble, really. He did get in a bit of a mess at the 3rd bend, but he rode it well and absolutely flew home again.
Throughout the competition, he's been improving his sectional times. What have you been doing to him?
Nothing. Nothing any different to any of the others. He's just getting used to the place.
Well, turning third at the first bend, you must have known that writing was on the wall for the front runners.
Oh, I fancy my chances. I definitely fancy my chances. Very pleased with him.
So plans for moral standards now, get home and give him a bit of breakfast? By the time you get home?
Yeah, we'll get him home and he'll go away for only 2 or 3 hours and then we shall have to be up again and we'll be partying well tomorrow. But
control, as it were, of moral standards all through the derby. How good as a dog is he to control?
Oh, he's very easy. He's very laid back and he's no trouble whatsoever. No trouble at all.
I saw him at the first bend when he was just approaching the trap on his last circuit. A big cheer went up for Up the Junction. He put his ears up.
He couldn't believe they were cheering for him, could he? No, he's a very calm dog. He didn't seem to worry him too much at that tonight, which surprised me. He was only young. And there was a couple of dogs in the race that did get a bit expressed up a little bit, but Jake was fine.
Now, so
one of the first pups of moral standards to run was the bitch pup Staples Jade, trained by Tony Meek, and was running in the 2-year-old Bristol Produce Stakes. Drawn trap 3 in the first round. The lure at the Bristol Stadium is the very popular hare that is used in Australia, the Bramish lure. Although it's on the outside here, Staples Jade, they're running from trap 3, well enough away from the traps, takes control of the race at the first bend and stretches away down the back straight. At the moment, she's about 4 lengths clear of the second dog, with the rest out with the washing. And quite an easy win for the first round, and the rest of the dogs all stretched out in Indian file. So a great win there by the trap 3 Staples Jade. Time 27.92, won by 4 lengths. The time of 27.92 is 1 3/4 lengths off the track record. So a tremendous run, first time round for the Staples Jade, which was the fastest time of the night. Now this is the lineup for the second round, again drawn in trap 3. Looking for the bunny there, and a good start from trap 3 Staples Jade. Again takes control of the race from the first bend. Ran the first 2 bends very well and now stretching away along the back straight to take a convincing lead to win this semi-final in the same style that she won the first round. These are some of the best British bred pups in the country, and she's really stretching them out in the run to the line. Obviously 28.25, the track was slower than the first round, but still a very good run from Staples Jade. Again, the fastest time of the night, 28.25. So the lineup for the first semi-final. Staples Jade a little bit more fortunate with the trap draw, drawing trap 2. They had the second fastest time of the competition, but Staples Jade is still out in the front. Again, a good start by trap 2 Staples Jade, takes control again of the first turn, and again stretching away along that back straight. Never in any danger going into the third bend. Rails quite well around those third and fourth bends, and runs on strongly to win the semi-final of the Bristol Produce Stakes. This Produce Stakes is probably one of the top puppy events in England, with £5,000 going to the winner. And in the final, Staples Jade rather lucky with the draw again in trap 1. Fine looking bitch by moral standards. Similar colouring to moral standards, the white and black markings. and trained by Tony Meek, who did train moral standards. So the hare's on the move for the final of the Bristol Produce Stakes, and in trap 1, Staples Jade is very well away, and again takes control of this race from the first bend, and looks to be in no danger whatsoever. Stretching away there by 4 or 5 lengths from the rest of the field, and obviously this race is over. There's a good finish there by Staples Jade, winning the final of the 2-year-old Bristol Produce Stakes. The form of that race was franked because 2 weeks later the Trap 3 Rock Glen Ranger went on to break the track record over 750 yards at Monmore Green. Another pup of moral standards is in this race is Trap 4 Watermere, running at Shawfield, right when the final of the Scottish Derby was run, and Trap 4 Watermere, good start there, again taking control of the race by the first bend, stretching this field tremendously really for a pup having his 3rd race of his life. This is an open race event at Shawfield Stadium. This is the home of the Scottish Derby final, and the next race on this tape will be the Scottish Derby final, but Watermere there stretching away and possibly winning by 7 or 8 lengths in a time of 29.03. Now remember this time, 29.03. This race coming up now is the final of the Scottish Derby, and it's £20,000 to the winner, and in Trap 5 is some picture. This is the 2nd richest race in the UK, and there you have Trap 5, some picture, having a good clear run round the first bend and the second bend. He's contesting now along the back straight, going out on the outside, and there you have some picture taking it up on the 3rd bend. This is the final of the Scottish Derby, £20,000 to the winner, and some picture wins by about 3 lengths there. And now look at this time. This time coming up 29.02, 1 spot faster than the moral standards pup Watermere. Moral standards, the 1994 English Derby winner, is now standing at Rubina Fitzpatrick's at 525 Davis Road, Tarneet, Victoria 3030. Telephone number 03 9748 1254. This is a great opportunity for Australian breeders to take advantage of this latest English import.